Hi, I'm John F. Allen.
And I'm R.J. Sullivan.
And we're the Two Towers.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Two Towers Talk Show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. recap and review for Season 3, Episode 15, titled Spacetime. I'm your host, Tower 1, John F. Allen. There will be spoilers in this episode, so if you have not yet seen the episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., please go watch it and then come back to view this show. Episode recap. When Daisy receives horrifying visions of the future, S.H.I.E.L.D. must race to try and stop this possible future and make for a better outcome. Tower talking points. Talking point number 1. Homeless Charlie the Inhuman and his future predictions. The clairvoyant is real. From the start of this series, there was always talk of the clairvoyant. Well, we know that there wasn't really a clairvoyant, but how ironic it is that this Inhuman is actually a clairvoyant who can see glimpses of the future when he comes into contact with someone. That person he comes in contact with also sees these glimpses of their own future, and usually involves death of some sort. Talking point number 2, Daisy's predictions. As this story progresses, Charlie ends up getting into contact with a restaurant owner whose restaurant he's been squatting behind. The restaurant owner gets a glimpse of the future, and this future involves Daisy Johnson and S.H.I.E.L.D. When S.H.I.E.L.D. shows up, Daisy Johnson meets with the restaurant owner, who tells her that he has already seen his own death, and he also predicts that Hydra is coming. Hydra does in fact come to abduct Charlie, and in trying to rescue Charlie and keep him from being abducted, Daisy comes into contact with Charlie and is given a glimpse into the future of her own. Talking point number 3. Andrew/Lash returns to say goodbye. The Andrew Lash character had been out on the streets roaming around and had been basically being hunted by S.H.I.E.L.D. Well, it seems as though he turned himself in because Andrew knew that Lash was about to take over permanently. Now, while Melinda May had been fighting her feelings for Andrew, there's no denying that both of them truly loved each other and that she wanted to try anything to hold on to the man that she fell in love with. As you know from past episodes, there had been a vaccine of sorts that had been created using Crusher Creel, aka the absorbing man's blood. However, this was basically for people who had not went through the Terrigenesis stage, or in Andrew's case, it was a 1 in a million shot because he had gone through it, but it hadn't taken permanent effect yet. So there was a chance, a slim chance, that it might work. Well, unfortunately, it did not. But at least Andrew and Melinda were able to say their goodbyes to one another. It was really heartfelt, well acted, I think, for this genre of television show, and it gave some closure to the situation. Talking point number 4. Gideon Malik gets the Kraken suit. For people who have read the comics, specifically the Secret Warriors miniseries, they know that there was a Kraken suit which was partially organic, partially technologically based, which enabled the wearer to have enhanced abilities. Malik, at the suggestion of Hive, seeks to perform a hostile takeover of the Transia Corporation, which is the manufacturer of the exoskeleton, which is similar to the Kraken suit from the comics. I think it will be interesting to see where they go from here with it leading into the end of the season and into next season. I'm sure they'll be tackling more plot points and storylines from the Secret Warriors as the series progresses. Talking point number 5. Tentacled Head of Hive. As seen in the preview for the next episode, we finally get a glimpse of the true visage of Hive. Now, as you may have figured out, Hive is the extra-dimensional being from the planet or dimension where Gemma was trapped last season. So basically, that particular creature has inhabited the dead body of Ward and has some of his memories and some of his personality, but it is also in and of itself its own entity, and it has a true form, and that true form has yet to be revealed. But we did see a glimpse of it for previews for next week's episode, and it looked pretty cool. It actually looked a lot like what it looked like in the Secret Warriors miniseries. If you haven't checked out the comic book miniseries, go ahead and check it out. I thought it was a really good series. So a lot of the material used to make these episodes and in this particular season of the show is borrowed heavily from the Secret Warriors miniseries. So if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check that out. Easter eggs. The name of the corporation which Malik acquired to get the Kraken suit was called Transia Corporation. And Transia was actually the name of the village in which Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were from in the comics. Now, this may have been retconned since the 60s when it came out, but it was a nice shout out nonetheless. Another Easter egg is when Fitz is explaining that because of these visions that Daisy had, they can't really change the future, that it's pretty much set. He uses the fourth dimension explanation. It's ironic how different this is from the DC explanation, like on The Flash, as far as time is concerned. You know, they can always change the future or the past in the DC universe. It just has ripples and it causes an alternate timeline. Whereas, as we are seeing from this point at least, in the Marvel version TV cinematic universe or whatnot, it basically is fixed. So your fate is your fate and you can't escape it. So it's pretty interesting how this is going to develop over the course of the show. Now we've reached a segment of the show called Pros and Cons, and this is where I give you the pros for what I think was pretty good about the episode, and then I give you the cons, or for the things that I think didn't work as well. We'll start off with the pros. The resolution of Andrew and Melinda's relationship. Now, I have to say that this is something that I was looking forward to having resolved. I understand where they were going with it, and to be honest with you, I liked the way that the story went. I liked the way that the actors interacted, and I actually liked their chemistry. I don't think it was the best chemistry, but it was definitely something that I felt, and in this particular episode, more so than any other time during the course of the characters' interactions on the series. So I'm glad they resolved that. As far as other pros, advancing the Secret Warrior storyline from the comics is again something that I'm really, really interested in, and is really, really playing out very well for me. I can't wait to see more about the Secret Warriors. We've got an episode coming up where they actually come together, so that'll be cool to see. And one other thing I'd like to mention is the handling of the Ward/Hive character. Brett Dalton is doing an amazing job of actually acting a lot differently from the actual Ward character now that he is in the Hive persona. And this is a testament to his acting ability. I've always liked Brett Dalton's interpretation of Ward. I liked the twist that he was a part of the team and then he turned on them, and then now he was killed and he's become this entity. So kudos to Brett Dalton for that. Now for cons. I really didn't have any cons with this episode. I mean, for all the things that happened, it pretty much went the way that I expected it to, and I felt like that I really enjoyed watching the episode, and it actually set up things for me to anticipate the following episodes. So I really don't have any cons. I do have one statement, though, that I want to make in regards to the show. The Transia Corporation, I'm interested to see if they use this, if it's tied into anything else in the greater Marvel Cinematic Universe, just a one-shot thing that they use to create the Kraken suit. I also would like to see whether or not this is going to be developed further. You know, that Malik used the suit to kill the person who owned the company, the Transia company, so he could take over ownership. And this is all under the influence of Hive. So he actually got his hands dirty. He actually killed someone for the first time personally, as opposed to having them killed by his henchmen. So this will be interesting development for that character to see how that goes. I'd like to see how this is going to tie into the greater overarching storyline of the Secret Warriors. Tower rating. I give this episode 4 out of 5 towers. In related news, we'll be airing recap and review shows for Supergirl, The Flash, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Arrow, and DC's Legends of Tomorrow on a weekly basis. Be sure to subscribe to our channel to get them all. I hope to air the shows the day following the air dates for each episode. However, that's not always possible, so just check back with us periodically. Thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, ewa. The Two Towers Talk Show is sponsored in part by Showtime Cinema in Mooresville, Indiana. Their friendly staff is always willing to go the extra mile to make your movie-going experience an enjoyable and memorable one. Enjoy the comfort of their new cushioned seating in their spacious auditoriums, and while you're there, be sure to stop by the concession stand and purchase some popcorn where real butter topping is an option. They're located at 300 South Bridge Street in Mooresville, Indiana. We hope to see you at the movies. Be sure to check out our advertising partner, DC and Marvel, a universal alliance. They are a friendly Facebook community who offer digital comic book giveaways, games, tournaments, and viewing parties. Follow the link below and give them a look. You'll be glad you did.